Okay, another name for y'all today. Apologize for my voice, I'm sick right now. Anyways, I was supposed to upload last week, but well, depending on when this video is out. But yeah, last week video got copyrighted, got taken down. Y'all never gonna see that video. But yeah, anime today for y'all, Bokurano. The title of the video should be self-explanatory. Y'all gonna see. But yeah, let's get into it. Cue the intro.
マジか。領域展開無料空想。
We open up and immediately get introduced to all our MCs. They're at this summer camp and they're all hanging out greatly. Well, most of them. One nigga from the Addams family and the other is the future serial killer.
死にかけてたやつだからいいんだ。でもな。なんでそんなことするの？したい気分なんじゃね？あんた黙って。
So their day is coming to an end and they feel like they didn't do anything. So what's the best thing to do when you feel like that? You go cave exploring. Then as they were exploring, they end up coming across someone's gaming setup. I know that boy's streams be trash. Ain't getting no type of signal now. So as they're looking through everything, this random nigga pulls up. Well, oh shucks, it seems y'all have found my game setup. Setup? You a stream or something? You know, I'm nothing much. I'm just working on GTA 6. Y'all wanna play? All you gotta do is put your hand on here to play. And obviously, they ain't never heard of Stranger Danger. Cause they instantly agree.
俺は枠高し。小高勝。文字邦彦、よろしく。加古勲です。矢村大地だ。吉川寛治。後ろ淳。桐江陽介。
中来真子。床住愛子。本田千鶴よ。菰田高美です。町陽子。
And the next thing they know, they're all asleep and now they're outside. See kids? Stranger danger. Don't talk to strangers. As a matter of fact, don't go cave exploring. Stay home. Anyways, and when they look up, they see Wembanyama just chilling on the beach.
そして僕らはあれに出会った。
But if that wasn't crazy enough, they get teleported inside and meet the Rockstar employee from before.
どこ？
あんたは
Oh, welcome kids. I know this ain't the early beta for GTA 6, but I promise you it's better. Hey, On me, this better. So that nigga starts fighting the giant robot.
外からの衝撃は減衰して伝えられる。コックピットそのものも厚く守られているから、まず大丈夫だ。そしてこいつは強い。
And hey, that boy was putting in that work. He pierced that spider robot real quick. Blocked one punch, then he swung that nigga body to the side.
そしてこいつは強い。
He started digging that spider goods till he crushed the core, finally ending the battle. Now the next scenes you're about to see, all I'm gonna say is pay close attention.
これで終わりだ。
And the next day they all regroup after, and then they get introduced to this nigga who to this day I couldn't give you any description of what that nigga is. Big ass head and little body. One of y'all watching, come get your friend. Anyways, that nigga doesn't look trustworthy at all. Tells them that they gotta fight off all the robots that show up to save Earth. But of course, with a little devious smile, because he didn't tell them the entire truth. But we'll get to know that later on in the show. So he teleports them to the robot, and now it's time to see who will be the next up to fight.
何なんだよ。
And we end on this nigga. And later on is the moment in the show where I should have realized this was not going to be no family friendly show, because they got that boy out here in the night chilling, telling his backstory. Yeah, it's up for that nigga. So this time his battle finally comes, and of course, with the fate of the entire earth in his hands, of course the first thing they gotta decide on is a name for the robot. Which I think if they wanted to decide on the name that bad, they could have taken at least more time, because Z-Earth is a sorry ass name. Anyways, so he steps up and he fires at the end robot and does absolutely no damage. So now there's only one thing left to do. They gotta throw hands. They get grabbed and they was about to be given the Yujiro Hanma treatment, but luckily that boy played football. He split that end in half, then just stomped them boys out. So after getting the W, they go outside the robot, which, why? That whole tall as a move. Anyways, so they outside, chilling, talking, screaming, "We did it!" And then that boy gets hit with a Ray Lewis hit stick and gets sent flying. yeah, safe to say, they knew he wasn't coming back from that. So the next day, they end up getting taken to the police station and questioned because they found that boy's body. And remember that nigga I said who was gonna be a serial killer? Just look how calm and collected that nigga is when getting questioned.
君は昨日の事件で何人死んだか知ってるのかい？
これは何のための尋問ですか？僕ら未成年を拘束する理由は、保護者である私の父の了解は取りましたか？
That nigga is gonna be back here in a couple years. Now, they did all collectively decide we need to keep quiet about how he died. But of course, there's always that one person. Immediately after everyone got interviewed, everybody going home, Shawty immediately went to snitching about the robot, about everything, about... Damn, can't keep a secret. She sold the parlay, bro. While they were attending this nigga funeral, Big Head decided, you know what? It's time to choose another pilot. Round and round it goes. It stops. Someone's gonna get old. And the next pick in the 2025 musical chairs of Death draft. The streets will be happy about this one. Future serial killer. And of course, at the time, they didn't know what would happen when they got picked. But still, look at this devious smile when he was chosen. And the next scene we see him, he's cleaning a gun. Why does he have a stick? Who gave this? I know y'all see the signs. Why does he have a stick? Anyways, when his time comes to fight, while the others are trying not to cause any damage, that boy don't give a shit about that. He trying to catch the fate. That boy been watching them Aaron the Plumber videos.
Nigga, I get him up with any nigga on this earth, bruh. I swear to God, I never been no coward. Any nigga that know me, that tell you, nigga, I ain't backing down from shit. Nigga, you beat my ass 10 times, nigga. I'ma get back up. But I promise you, nigga, when the opportunity present itself again, nigga, I'm gonna shine, nigga. In a real way, nigga.
And I'm not gonna say the others were holding him, but they were screaming and telling him not to cause damage, and they just ended up putting that boy in a precarious situation. But as they were messing with him, yeah, that boy had enough of their shit. He picked that robot up and tossed that nigga. That boy was smiling and shit. And till that boy panned over, saw his daddy in the whip. Yeah, it's up for that nigga. He turned his daddy into a pancake and he used that as a Senkai boost to beat that armadillo. And at this time is when they realize what happens when it's your turn to fight. Because after he killed the robot, he got a one-way trip to meet his daddy. Well, technically, but not really though. Because the robot uses their soul to power it, so I don't think he's gonna see that no more. But so after that, of course, they all lose interest in fighting. But at this point, they ain't got no other choice. So while they all at home stressing, that nigga decides, whoop, I guess it's time to pick another pilot. Round and round it goes. When it stops, somebody's gonna get old. And next up, Lover boy over here.
嘘だ。
And I'm not using Loverboy in a good way, because he went outside. Deserved, but went outside. But yeah, so turns out he likes Shorty over here. So knowing they all gonna die, he said, you know what? To hell with it. I'm gonna die anyways. And that's Shorty out. And I want y'all to keep this in mind. They are all from the ages of 14 to 15. So after confessing to Shorty, she tells him she likes her teacher. Now you're gonna say, well, yeah, it's a normal thing. We all like crushes on our teachers and shit. Well, it gets crazy. Cause apparently she been letting the teacher hit.
好き。
And trust me, the story gets crazy. So after finding out Shorty that he knew was not who he thought she was, that boy runs away. And at that point, the rest of the team got us to go looking for him. But Shorty had a general idea of where he was, so she went over there and she finds that nigga crying. Because obviously he doesn't want to die. Now at that point, you're feeling bad for him, right? And you all think she crazy. Obviously she's still crazy, but prepare for the biggest switch. That boy was tweaking. That boy was like, I'm gonna die so young. I'm gonna miss so much movies, so much games. I'm never gonna see my family again. I'm never gonna get my body count to at least 1. You'll see where I'm going with this, right? Yeah, at that point, that nigga broke. He started chasing Shorty, trying to, you know. At that point, 2 things happened. One was I just started to feel bad, that I actually felt bad for him at one point. And 2, that I at least hope they teleported to the ship, because if they teleported at the time, the others would have stopped him. But that second part never happened. He continued to chase her, almost getting the up on her multiple times, but it only took her 1 time to incapacitate that boy, and it took 1 rogue missile to end it. And remember when I said the story gets crazier? Yeah, it gets crazier. Yeah, pause right there. I just want to remind you, if you enjoyed it, leave a like, subscribe. Like, let's continue enjoying and making all this content, all this anime and other videos. I be losing sleep over. And with your help, I can continue to grow the channel. So leave a like, subscribe if you enjoyed so far, and let's get back to the regular scheduled programming. So because that nigga did stupid shit and he died, now Shorty has to fight. So yeah, remember that teacher? So apparently that nigga was sleeping with her older sister too. And you know what? She still continued with the teacher after finding out. This dysfunctional family. Now, if this wasn't bad enough already, apparently that nigga uploaded the footage of her getting, you know, busy together. Now, what I hate isn't it, even after all this, and her going out of her way to find the nigga who, when they did, he was putting cameras in the girl's changing room. And when she found him, she didn't go through with it. Man, she really let that nigga go. And the crazy doesn't stop there. So of course they win their fight, but take a look at how she dies.
私これで死ぬんだ。仕方ないよね。私悪い子だし。
Now, if you didn't come up with an idea of what happened, well, I'm gonna break it down for you. So the robot has lights for the amount of souls in it, and a light disappears after a person fights. So after Shorty fought, 3 lights didn't go because obviously the other nigga wasn't included. No, after Shorty was done, 2 lights disappeared. Now put 2 and 2 together and take a look at the scene again.
これで死ぬんだ。仕方ないよね。私悪い子だし。
Yeah, that was a lot to take in. No pun intended. But yeah, the story moves on. So after her fight, they were down fighters, so these 2 joined in. And after the nigga with the greatest hairline went, then close designer Shorty, who in between the fighting story tried to hold herself out, but the nigga she met had enough senses and talked her out of it. Then Mr. Foot Wheel over here. Then was Shorty with the 80s cut. When this show came out in 07, which is crazy, and that's when they get to know us. They aren't just fighting for the earth, but their entire universe. Well, more specifically, their dimension. That's when they all realize they haven't just been fighting robots, but actual people. But hey, it's either you give up or you kill them and save your family and your dimension. You don't owe anything to this dimension. So of course they continue fighting. Well, not like they had a choice. It's either fight or get erased. And with that win, they continue to fight. They got the entire world on their back, and they're not folding. They're out there balling like Curry carrying the Warriors in 2022. And next up in the battle was this nigga who was the best pilot. Why didn't I wish this nigga would have survived? Boy, that boy was moving out there like he was a seasoned vet. And that boy had so much ball knowledge, he figured out somebody didn't sign a contract with the team, so they won't die. And guess what? It was Shorty who told him about the cave in the first place. And turns out she's not from that earth. She came from a different one, and that nigga with the big head is her brother. And after showing off his elite IQ, he dies in the coldest position ever. Rest in peace to the most realest nigga. But even after figuring that out, obviously they still gotta continue fighting. So after it was this Shorty, then this nigga who, before I get into his fight, I gotta add this important detail. Yeah, so remember the military girl signed up earlier? Well, so first off, you're gonna get where I'm going with this, just follow along with me. So these 2 been living by themselves, and obviously her knowing this nigga gonna die, she asked the military girl for a favor to find that nigga mama. Which I gotta say, she gotta be the most strong-hearted person ever, cause that nigga abused her. Not privately either, he was constantly hitting her. That nigga was. Boy, I can't forgive that nigga. Despite what's gonna happen later on, can't forgive him. I can't really feel bad for him. I only feel bad for military Shorty, cause turns out she was his mama, but he didn't find out until after she. Yeah.
生きて生き抜いてと。
So the reason he didn't know was because she was dating a nigga in a gang. Then she had him, but even after the nigga died, they was still going after her. So she left him with somebody else, and she left for the military. The first time we see them together, it's the first time she's seen that boy in years, and she was trying to get back into that boy's life. And then they hold her. But yeah, back to the story. So the next nigga, he won his fight. But unlike the others, which was sort of easy, this time, that boy actually had to box with. But he wasn't weak. He put up a great fight. Great effort. Which did not go to waste. They was fed up with all this fighting and used the only thing that solves all problems. She pulled out the stick and shot that nigga. Now they can decide who fights. And she chooses to fight. And she had to box too. She was putting them hands in. Not gonna lie. They were going hands for hands, but in the end, she cooked them. Literally. And so with her sacrifice, it comes to the unforgivable nigga. Who I gotta say, he was bullshit. There was several times in the fight where he could have finished it, and he didn't. He made that fight last way longer than it had to. I'll be damned if you play with my life. He extended that hole for 3 days. And he almost lost in the end, but then the plot armor kicked in. And that's how it ends. His little sister grew up, living peacefully. It's a great anime. Can't talk down on it. I recommend you go watch it for yourself. Because I left out a lot of side stories. If you go watch it for yourself, I'm sure you'll be able to connect with the characters a lot more after hearing their backstories, despite knowing what's gonna happen. But yeah, that's it. I hope you liked it. Leave a like, subscribe. I'ma see you.
30 hertz straight up. I gotta keep a pop yeah. Put a red ribbon on me. Fly away on Nimbus, yeah. Headed up to commies. I need me a bag full of sensu to get me back started. You don't even know what I've been through. The strain is hyperbolic. I ain't had a session in a minute, but I'm back. Let me finish. I'ma throw on the shade.